Hello and good evening. Here is the news at 6. First, the highlights. Governor Sanwo-Olu, diplomats praise Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka's courage against oppression, corruption. Ekiti State Governor approves a 361 million naira car loans for over 500 workers. On a foreign scene, students renew Bangladesh protests, call for Prime Minister's resignation. And in sports, Team Nigeria's Rosemary Chukwuma qualifies for 100 meters semi-finals of the Paris 2024 Olympics. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, along with the Consul General of India in Lagos, Chandra Maoli Kumar Ken, and the British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos, Johnny Baxter, have commended Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka for his unwavering stance against oppression, corruption, and human rights abuses. The governor and the diplomats gave the commendation at an event held in honor of Soyinka at the residence of the British Deputy High Commissioner in Ikoyi, Lagos, Nigeria, as part of activities to celebrate his 90th birthday. Soyinka, known for his fearless criticism of corrupt leaders and his advocacy for human rights, was hailed by the Lagos State Governor as a true Nigerian hero and a global icon of intellectual and moral courage. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of Health District 3, Monsurat Adeleke, described the non-Nigerian as a beacon of hope and a shining example of courage in the face of adversity, noting that the celebrant has inspired generations to stand up for their rights and fight against injustice. The governor also highlighted Soyinka's impressive body of work, which includes powerful plays and thought-provoking essays that have transcended cultural and linguistic barriers, earning him a place among the greatest writers of our time. Sanwo-Olu expressed deep gratitude to Soyinka for his invaluable contributions to society. Diplomats from various countries also praised Soyinka's contributions to literature, human rights, and social justice. British Deputy High Commissioner Johnny Baxter specifically noted that Soyinka's work has had a profound impact on the global community, inspiring people to speak out against oppression and demand accountability from leaders. The Lagos State Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, has urged protesters to shun violence and respect the sanctity of physical structures in the state. Olumide reinforced the position of the state government that the economic challenges called for sober reflection instead of protest, given the genuine efforts of government at all levels to bring succor to the people. He stressed that protesters should refrain from destroying physical structures that are meant to serve the residential, commercial, and institutional needs of the people. The commissioner noted that physical structures across the state enhance the alluring landscape of Lagos and help project her cultural heritage, emphasizing that all hands must be on deck to build a livable, organized, orderly, and sustainable physical environment. In a bid to unlock the city's full cultural potential, Special Advisor on Tourism, Arts and Culture, Idris Aregbe, recently embarked on an exciting tour to discover the hidden treasures of Lagos alongside some officials of the ministry. The tour was aimed at exploring Lagos's vibrant tourist attractions and creative hubs, while also mapping out cultural institutions that showcase the city's rich history and artistic flair. During the tour, Aregbe spoke at a gallery of art in Lekki, where he acknowledged the efforts of private gallery owners who have significantly contributed to the growth of the creative sector in Lagos. He emphasized the importance of collaboration between the government and private stakeholders in promoting art, culture, and tourism in the state. Aregbe stated that the tour marks a significant milestone in leveraging art and culture as drivers of economic growth, social development, and community engagement in Lagos State. A major high point of the tour was the visit to the Nigerian Conservation Foundation in Lekki, a haven for art and nature enthusiasts, where Aregbe commended the foundation's efforts at preserving Nigeria's natural and cultural heritage in line with the state's government's vision to promote sustainable tourism and cultural development. And now to the rest of the stories. Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji has approved the disbursement of 361.5 million naira as car loans to 554 workers in the state's public service. Commissioner for Finance Akintunde Oyebode said this in a statement, noting that the governor also gave approvals to expand the scope by increasing the scheme's funding pool by 200 million naira. This, he said, was part of efforts to ensure adequate funding of the loan scheme and for the program to accommodate more beneficiaries. Oyebode said the governor also approved a 100% upward review of the individual loan amount for benefiting civil servants who must have spent at least 5 years in service, must have more than 5 years left, and must demonstrate that they will retain at least 50% of their monthly gross pay after the loan deduction. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has lifted a curfew imposed in the aftermath of the Kawuru bomb blast that resulted in the deaths of 16 people and left several others critically injured. The government on Friday temporarily relaxed the curfew to allow Muslims to observe Jumat prayers, making the announcement in a statewide broadcast while consoling the families of the Kawuri bomb blast. The governor said it was necessary to impose the curfew to avoid Boko Haram elements taking advantage to create havoc in the state. Governor Zulum said a protest in the state was hijacked by hoodlums who made several attempts to destroy public infrastructure, but for the timely intervention of the military and other security agencies. While charging residents to go about their normal activities, he said the security of the state will not be compromised for any reason. A bill for a law to provide for crèches in public workplaces for working breastfeeding mothers is set to be passed into law in Taraba State. This was made known by the wife of the Taraba State Governor, Ayin Kefas, during the opening ceremony of the World Breastfeeding Week in Jalingo. The World Breastfeeding Week, which is slated for August 18, 2024, has as its theme Closing the Gap, Breaking the Records, Breaking Barriers, Breastfeeding Support for All. Speaking at the event, Kefa said the bill has passed through all the legislative processes and is ready for passage into law. Now to foreign news. Protesters in Bangladesh have taken to the streets to demand justice for the more than 200 people killed in last month's student-led demonstrations over quotas in government jobs. The large protests came as student leaders called for a nationwide civil disobedience campaign until Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government resigns. Students Against Discrimination, the group responsible for organizing the initial protests, rebuffed an offer of talks with Hasina earlier in the day. Nahid Islam, the group's leader, told a crowd of thousands at a monument to national heroes in the capital Dhaka to roars of approval. The Pentagon says the United States will deploy additional warships and fighter jets to the Middle East to help defend Israel from possible attacks by Iran and its proxies. It says the deployments will include additional ballistic missile defense-capable cruisers and destroyers. Tensions remain high in the region over the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Iran and a key commander of the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah. Iran's leader Ayatollah Khamenei also vows harsh punishment against Israel for the assassination of Haniyeh. Haniyeh, 62, was widely considered Hamas's overall leader and played a key role in negotiations aimed at reaching a ceasefire in the Gaza war. And now sports. Rosemary Chukwuma of Team Nigeria has booked a spot in the semi-finals of the women's 100 meters at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Chukwuma secured third position in the first preliminary round of the 100 meters women's race. Rosemary is among the 3 African women behind Marie Josie Tatlu of Cote d'Ivoire with 10.87 and Gina Bass of the Gambia on 11.01, who will aim to reach the final. The women's 100 meters semi-finals will be held this evening. And that's all for the news at 6. Just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersections, and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. On YouTube, subscribe and watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration initiated 500 hectares rice farm technology intervention project? You can get more details on the Lagos State government's website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, along with the Consul General of India in Lagos, Chandramouli Kumar Ken, and the British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos, Johnny Baxter, have commended Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka for his unwavering stand against oppression, corruption, and human rights abuses. Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyèbánjí has approved the disbursement of 361.5 million naira as car loans to 544 workers in the state public service. We also told you that protesters in Bangladesh have taken to the streets to demand justice for the more than 200 people killed in last month's student-led demonstrations over quotas in government jobs. And in sports, Rosemary Chukwuma of Team Nigeria has booked her spot in the semi-finals of the women's 100 meters at the Paris 2024 Olympics. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adewayo Idowu-Olaiya. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good evening.